Testing.
Oh, I didn't mean to record.
Oh,
sorry. I went on autopilot. Hold on,
Let's see
please.
how that sounded.
Okay. Testing. Oops. Oh, now I lost the window. Okay, bye.
Hi, Charlotte.
Hello, Madeline.
We're back.
Ta-da!
Ta-da.
Bet you didn't think we would be. What?
What if every week we were like, well, we might release an episode next week.
Yeah,
we don't know.
What if every week was like, we'll see if The Athletic pulls a plug this week?
They're not. For
Be
the
like,
record.
the New York Times still puts us in their app, which is crazy.
Oh my goodness. How are you?
I'm great. It's the weather in New York where I'm hot and cold at the same time.
Yes.
Because my apartment, you guys can control your heat.
We can.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, we have a radiator that has a mind of its own, and so you control the temperature by how much you open the window or not.
Oh.
And right now we're sitting near the radiator, so I'm hot, but we're also sitting near the window, and
So
it's like
it's
19
chilly.
It's out.
It's freezing
somehow.
and it's flurrying.
It's
Flurrying. Yes.
Fleur.
Thank
But
you
anyway, so yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Great.
I just want to start by saying thank you to everyone who joined our chats over on our Substack on Sunday and Monday. It was so much fun.
I had a great time.
We had a grand old time. And if you haven't subscribed, you can at sportsgossipshow.substack.com and join our little chats. I think we're going to make them a consistent thing.
Yes. It's really, I don't know, it felt really nice because we do this, as we said last week and when we were announcing this chat, just sitting here together, which, don't get me wrong, is an absolute delight.
Yes.
But it's nice to be able to talk to people who hear from us all the time.
Yeah, hear our voices in their ears or with their eyes and ears if you're watching on YouTube.
Otherwise,
Hey,
yeah.
and if you're watching right now on YouTube, why don't you subscribe?
You should subscribe. You should also rate and review us on Apple.
And Spotify.
Makes a big difference. We particularly like the nice ones.
Yes. Nice reviews are always nice.
You could leave us a nice review. Although if you're leaving us a bad one, thank you for engaging with our content.
Hey, it's all right.
Yes, no news is bad news. What is that? Anyway.
Anyways.
So yeah, the chats were really fun. We're going to keep doing them.
Yep.
And today is pretty jam-packed.
Oh my God.
We have a lot of company news.
A lot of workplace drama.
Feels like it's been a minute since we've talked about like company men and women, don't you think?
Well, and this high concentration of workplace drama feels strange, but also maybe it's this time of year. Oftentimes companies, wrongfully so, lay people off right before the holidays. What are we doing?
Why do they do that?
I don't know. It's something with budgets. I don't know.
Is it the fiscal year?
Something like that. I'm no accountant.
Fiscal year? I'm not a doctor.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like there's a higher concentration than normal.
I also think it's the time of year in the sports calendar where for football, you know if things are going badly. And for basketball, it's like the hangover of the previous season for people who didn't get fired. And also the time where it's pretty apparent, I don't know, 10, 11 games in, if you've lost the locker room or if there are personal things going on where it's like, this isn't going to work.
Yeah, this is not working.
It's unusual, I guess, for coaches, but that's not who we're talking about today.
No. Which we'll get to.
We will. That's a tease in the biz, folks.
But first, we have to give an update about our vibes-based predictions. For those who don't know, occasionally we realized we do vibes-based predictions for NFL games and we pick who's going to win solely based on vibes. And what we realized was that we can only do the vibes-based predictions when the vibe feels right to do the vibes-based predictions.
Amen.
Make it make sense. But I think we're maybe onto something with just doing it when the vibes feel right to pick the vibes.
I think so too, because I think we know when we don't have a good handle on the vibes, and so we might as well not do it because it's wasting everyone's time.
Right.
But if we think that we have a pretty good idea of how the vibes are going to affect the outcome of games, then we rock and roll.
Well, and drum roll, please. We got 64% of our picks correct.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty impressive.
That's above 500.
Yeah.
You know what I think about a lot?
What?
Roger Federer. Just hear me out. He once said that he won something like I really should have had this before I said
Great.
it, but between 52 and 57% of all of his points when he played tennis.
Yeah.
But that was enough for him to win these massive tournaments because he got you don't have to be perfect. You have to be like just better enough.
Yeah.
And so I feel like 64 is like significantly better enough.
I think that's really
That's
good.
14% more than not good enough.
I know. No, I think it's quite impressive. And the number would have been even higher if we had not gotten our Monday Night Football prediction wrong in one of the most boring Monday Night Football games in a minute. I don't know. I'm always like, come on.
It was 0-0 at the half.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing about games when they get bad is the announcers trying to. So it was Monday Night Football. So it was on ESPN and ABC. It was Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
And I heard at the end of the half, Troy Aikman goes, well, he was like, well, Joe, this is at least this is one of the more entertaining 0-0 games we've ever seen. And Joe starts laughing and he's like, yeah, because they're like, as an announcer, you have to sell the product. Like that's part of your job.
Right.
You have to, even if the game sucks, you have to dig deep inside and become the reason people are watching. And Joe says something and Troy goes, a lot of times these kind of games can be, I don't know what the word is, but this one's been entertaining. And you knew that I could hear him almost say boring.
Yeah.
And then catch himself and be like, I cannot, like they pay me so much money not to say that this game is boring.
No. You can't say boring. But here's what I'll say. In games like this, for those who didn't watch it, was Eagles, Packers, and the Eagles won 10-7, I believe.
Yes.
And it was just dreadful.
Slugfest.
What these broadcasts, what we need to talk about off the field stuff during these games. Come on, let us in there. We'll give a little personal life update. We'll be on the sidelines. Madeline and Charlotte. What marriage had a compressed flower at their wedding? Hit us.
You know what didn't? The Eagles player who got married at the Chicago Natural History Museum under the whale skeleton.
Oh,
is that what it's called? Do whales have skeletons?
Yes.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not like made of cartilage or something.
What?
Well, are they mammals? Yes.
I'm like, Charlotte, well.
No, so this is forever going to be our dream, which is that, and I don't even think we're on the sidelines. I think, where I think we're in a separate booth.
Yes.
And we have, for people who don't know, when these people, but it's often guys, are calling games, should be less guys.
Yeah.
They have spotters. So they have people sitting next to them who point to the roster. Like if something happens with a player or a lesser known guy comes in football, say, they'll point to the name so that the broadcaster just looks down. We will be in a booth. We will have spotters. We will have stats. We will have research. Instead of it being like, this is the first time that a left-handed player has made a tackle on the 5th of November, it'll be like, this is the first time that someone who had compressed flowers at their wedding made a field goal on an odd-numbered week in the NFL.
Oh, that is my dream. Nothing would make me happier.
And I think they have the Manning cast. They have all these alternate broadcasts now. Put us in.
NFL if you're listening.
NFL if you're listening. NBA if you're listening. WNBA if you're listening. Yeah. Unrivaled if you're literally anybody. Put us in and we will do an alternate broadcast where we tell you about the people's personal lives as they're playing.
Yeah. Come on. Put us in, coach.
I would listen to that.
Of course.
Like that's why we're on the personal life section of Wikipedia while we watch games.
Exactly. Hello. That's what we're here for.
Hello.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so Monday Night Football was pretty boring. I'll use the word B with the B word.
Troy won't say it, but Madeline is brave enough to say it.
I'm going to say it. But the regular season NBA games were kind of cuckoo.
Nuts.
Cuckoo. Early season NBA games, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, aren't typically the most exciting time.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The stakes are certainly not that high.
Right.
Because you can still either completely screw your season up.
Yeah.
Or if you're having a bad season, make it better.
Yeah.
But there have been games that were compelling, that are so compelling on their own in terms of how acrobatic and crazy they are, that you're like, I don't care.
Right.
That we're at 1/16 through the season.
Yeah. No. One of the most interesting stats. I love when they have stats that are just so oddly specific. You're like, how did they even figure out that this was going to be a stat?
Like the left-handed player who kicks a field on the
compressed. Yeah, right, exactly. Was that it was the first time that two teams from the same state had buzzer beater game winners, I think, ever, and it was the Miami Heat and the Orlando Magic.
All
separately.
Right.
Like how random and specific on just like a Monday night.
Also, you have to have a team that has two teams per state. They're not that many.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's true.
So what do we got? We got California, Lakers, Clippers, Florida, Heat, Magic, New York,
Texas,
Dallas, San Antonio.
Yeah.
New York, Nets, Knicks.
Why is this funny?
What's another one?
Naming teams.
What's another? We're just naming some teams.
Anyways. All this to say, it was just a weird night to have Monday Night Football, which is like a prime time, very exciting NFL product, and it'd be so anticlimactic. And then simultaneously, we had like Victor Wembanyama had like a crazy game, and simultaneously have regular, just normal ass, regular season NBA games be so crazy.
I know. I was watching Wembanyama highlights as I was watching the Packers game. I guess, maybe what we should do in the future for the chats.
What?
Is if there are games that are more exciting than the game we're watching, say, hey, everybody go watch this basketball game.
Switching gears.
Yeah. I don't know. Just production meeting out loud.
I love it.
Over here.
I love it.
So we have, as we said, some work drama. We do want to say there are several relationship update things that we're going to save for Thursday's episode. So that'll be a fun, juicy relationship update, along with hopefully a very special guest to talk about the baseball gambling scandal. So don't think we're ignoring that. There's just too many people who are either about to get fired or getting fired that we have to talk about it.
We have to talk about it.
Where should we start?
We got to start with Nico. Nico Harrison, the GM for the Dallas Mavericks, who famously traded their star player Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers in the thick of the night.
Yes.
Is getting fired. Christian Clark of The Athletic can confirm that Nico Harrison is being fired likely right now.
As we're recording.
I think like right now. Shams said that Dallas Mavericks and owner Patrick Dumont are expected to fire Nico Harrison at 10 a.m. Central Time on Tuesday. So that's basically now.
As the crow flies, that's when we're talking.
Could you imagine knowing you're getting fired via a tweet in advance? Not that Nico should really be surprised. Obviously, the fan base was pretty unhappy. They've been booing him at games. They booed him, I think, last night at a game, right?
Cooper Flagg, the number 1 overall pick, had his best game yet for the Mavs, and the crowd was chanting, "Fire Nico," during that game.
Oof.
And I think some context here is important. You can go and listen. We did a bunch of episodes on this as it was happening, when with all the details of why Nico became so hated by the fan base, in addition to, and kind of was losing people in the building. But I think it's important to remember Nico Harrison, not only did he trade Luka Doncic, the guy you don't trade, who's had a very, very good start with the Lakers this year and who got what people were calling the revenge body.
Yes.
He, because Nico then seeded all these things saying Luka's out of shape. He doesn't try. He's lazy, blah, blah, blah. Before that, Nico Harrison traded a trainer named Casey Smith. I mean, sorry, he didn't trade him. He fired him. And this guy was Dirk Nowitzki, who was like the best Mav of all time. He was Dirk's guy, and Dirk had been very involved in the franchise still. Nico fired Casey Smith when he was home taking care of his mother who was dying. Casey Smith had been with the organization for, I believe, 23 years. Not a great look. Not humane. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Just like, don't do that. No. How do you think anybody in a building is going to then respect you or be like, oh, this man cares about the well-being of the individuals who make up the organization?
Yeah, no.
Fun fact, Casey Smith then went on to win Trainer of the Year with the Knicks, because Jalen Brunson, star of the Knicks, used to play with the Mavs, and he was like, hey, come here. And then, so it's not, he wasn't bad at his job either.
No. Yeah, that was a terrible move.
So I think, lest you feel bad for Nico,
No, he's made a lot of terrible decisions.
Yeah.
And they feel like, I mean, listen, I guess you could argue that the Mavs front office was fine with these I would imagine they is all the blames on Nico? I don't know. That's a good question. Opens up a can of worms, but.
Well, let's talk about it. Okay. So that's an interesting question.
Yeah. It's like he got authorization for these firings and trades, right?
Yes.
I would imagine.
I will say, I think if you're the leader, like if you are the general manager and like everyone reports up to you, the buck stops.
That's true.
You're where the buck stops, as they say.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fine. I
think he also pushed out a lot of people who might have not agreed with him. So he was surrounded by yes men.
Yes men. We love that in a company.
Yes men.
No, I mean,
you know what we are?
What?
We're no women. You couldn't catch us being yes men.
No. Here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Nico Harrison is going to do after he gets fired? Because my prediction is A, he becomes an analyst.
Okay.
B, he writes a book.
Yeah.
Or C, both. Plus he does a sit down interview on like the Today Show or some like an exclusive interview, like CBS Sunday Morning or something.
Piece that's not sports media.
Something. Yeah. What do you think he does? Like, do you think he gets another GM job? Like, I can't imagine that's going to happen anytime soon.
I think that unfortunately, sports has shown time and time again that men who royally screw up will have, if they've gotten to a certain level, will find work again.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm also interested. This wouldn't happen, but part of the reason that the trade with the Lakers happened was because Nico Harrison is such good friends with the GM of and president. Well, I forget what his title is, of the Lakers, Rob Pelinka. They worked at Nike together, or Rob was an agent when Nico was at Nike.
Something like, or the other way around.
Whatever.
Or something. Yeah.
They go way back.
Yes, they're pals.
How funny would it be if Nico calls up Rob and is like, hey man, I need a favor. Rob would then, obviously Luka would be like, do not let him within 5 feet of this building. I feel like this is a friendship ender for Nico and Rob.
I don't know how you could continue to be friends with someone. Well,
I don't know.
But also, like, wasn't Rob involved with the trade? Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, I feel like there's a...
How would it be Rob's? I guess here's what I'm saying.
It wouldn't be Rob's fault.
Yeah.
It only if Nico had the balls to call Rob and be like, hey, can I have a job with the Lakers or involve me at the Lakers? And Rob's like, absolutely not. I'm not jeopardizing our star player.
Wait, you know what I think Rob would do if Nico did call up Mr. Pelinka?
What?
Is he would do the thing where it's vague, where he'd be like, oh yeah, man, would love to collaborate at some point in the future. It's like someone you meet at a party who you become friends with for like an hour and you exchange Instagram handles or something like that. And you're like, we're never going to hang out.
Yeah.
Like, but you're like, oh, it'd be so great to collaborate, work together. Oh yeah, you know what? I'll totally hit you up.
Yeah.
That's what Rob's probably going to do to Nico. Just like kind of breadcrumb him forever.
I think that's right. And then it's like you set a meeting and a time and then you email that day and be like, oh, Nico, I'm so sorry. His assistant's like, something came up for Rob last minute.
Yes.
We're going to have to push. He was so looking forward to it.
Yes.
What if Rob does that to Nico just for like a year? Let's be honest. Nico would not. Nico knows.
Yeah, no. He can't go to the Lakers.
He wouldn't. It's just a fun thought experiment.
No, my vision is I think he's going to get some he's going to get some weird media job or something.
You know what I think he's actually going to do?
What?
I think he's going to go back into like the private, not that he's not in the private sector. He's not a politician. Yeah. I think he could go to like a Nike or a place like a company adjacent to sports and become an executive there.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
That's right. But I also think I could see a book as well.
Like basketball relations expert
at Adidas.
Yeah. I could see that.
Reebok hits up Shaq. Yeah. Do you know that? I think Shaq is still like the creative director of Reebok or something.
I didn't know
he
that.
has like
he has so many jobs.
He has like a made up title with Reebok.
I love that. Good for him.
Yeah,
good for him.
He's hustling.
Wow. Well, I'm not sorry, Nico Harrison. You made a dumb move, and this is the consequences of your actions. Sorry.
Yeah. Not great.
Moving on. Brian Kelly. I have not seen this update. LSU fired their head coach, Brian Kelly, last week, right? And
2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. Something like that.
October 30th.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, whatever. And there has been new reporting that has come out that I don't know what it is yet. So I'm very excited for Charlotte to tell me what happened.
I am really excited to fill you in.
Yes.
This was messy. I was eating breakfast this morning and I was doing my little peruse before we do our show. And I, alone in my apartment, I went, no way. So Brian Kelly's fired October 30th. And at the time we talked about how he is owed $54 million in his contract for getting fired because of team performance.
Right.
This is different from being fired with cause. Being fired with cause, according to Brian Kelly's contract, is let's see. I don't think I put this in here. Never mind. But it's like bad behavior. It's like a list of things you can't do. But it's not like the cause is that the team was bad.
Right.
It's like Kelly's behavior. So Brian Kelly filed a. Sorry, I'm starting over. Reporting came out Monday that at the time of this firing, Brian Kelly rejected 2 settlements from LSU. And his attorney. Should we start over again? Do you want me to pick up? I'm debating whether we leave this in or not. I feel like people should know. I feel like the shareholders should know.
They deserve to see a peek behind the curtain. This is the life of 2 showgirls. Come on the pod, Taylor.
2 showgirls trying to parse through a lawsuit in Louisiana from a fired football coach. All right, you know what? I'm gonna
hit me again. Brian Kelly, what's going on?
Brian Kelly was fired on October 30th. The reporting that I saw this morning that made my jaw drop was that he has filed a lawsuit because apparently LSU is now trying to say they didn't actually fire him.
Wait, what?
They're trying to say that they didn't actually fire him because which I don't know how you can see this as not having fired him because
hold on.
Yeah.
What is LSU saying happened? If they're saying they didn't fire him, what are they saying? They just sat down and be like, "Hey man, your job's not looking so great, but I guess we'll see what happens."
They're saying they did not formally terminate him.
Okay.
Because the school is now trying to fire Brian Kelly for cause to avoid paying the $54 million.
And what are they saying is the cause for firing him? Like, what did he do?
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
They haven't come up with what the cause is. But Brian Kelly's attorneys filed a 48-page lawsuit in the 19th Judicial District for the parish of East Baton Rouge, which is an amazing name for like court.
That's a great name.
That's so Louisiana.
It's a great court name. Great court name.
You can hear it in the accent.
Yeah.
It's just dripping with like southern moss, gothic vines,
and like humidity.
Yeah, and it's hot.
It's hot. A lot of linen.
Hot lawsuit. So basically, if LSU has cause, then they won't owe him the full amount. The place where this gets tricky is Scott Woodward, the athletic director who was fired.
Yeah.
Sent Kelly an email, I think the day after he was fired, saying, "Hey man, do you want $25 million and we guarantee it even if you get another job that offsets the 54?" And Kelly,
wait, he just put that in an email?
Yeah, and then Brian Kelly's like, no, and he rejects it because he wants his $54 million.
Yeah.
Then apparently they try again. They're like, what about $30 million? And Brian Kelly's like, no. And then people forget that the governor of Louisiana literally, he said, we are not going down a failed path. So the governor of Louisiana is talking about the athletic director who hired Brian Kelly and gave him such a one-sided deal.
Right.
He goes, we are not going down a failed path. And I want to tell you something. This is a pattern. The guy that's here now, Scott Woodward, that wrote that contract cost Texas A&M $70-some million because Woodward, the AD, was also the guy who hired Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M and then had to pay him $70+ million, the highest buyout in college football history.
Right.
So then the governor goes, right now we've got a $53 million liability. We are not doing that again. And you know what? I believe that we're going to find a great coach?
Well, here's what I'm going to say. I love that the governor is throwing Scott Woodward under the bus. Like, no accountability here. Well, who's taking account? I mean, listen, Scott Woodward maybe didn't make the best. He doesn't have a great track record of making schools not pay that much money to fired coaches, obviously. But I'm like, how about, is someone going to take accountability here?
Well, so he said this like close to the time that Brian Kelly was fired.
Okay.
Which, to Brian Kelly's lawyer's point, I don't know how you can hear what the governor of Louisiana said, where he basically said, we fired him and we owe him this much money.
Yeah. It's like on record.
It's on record. He said that. And now they're trying to say, well, hear me out. He's technically not fired and he did some bad stuff.
LSU, what are we doing here?
It is really, really messy. And I just like, he actually said, Scott Woodward actually said, we had high hopes that he would lead us to multiple SEC and national championships during his time in Baton Rouge. Ultimately, the success at the level that LSU demands simply did not materialize. That to me sounds like you're saying you're firing someone because the team sucked.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that does.
How can you? It's just like, it feels very like Southern law. Like, let's
nonsense.
See if we can. Let's just give it a shot. Let's see if we can just flip this a little bit to the opposite of what we said the first time.
Let's drag it out. To me, it feels like when, someone, I mean, I've certainly done this in a class, when you haven't really done the homework and you're really just trying to drag it out and like delay having a turn or be like, oh, well, I was really confused with this question, so I just couldn't get to it. Can you help? Like, let's figure it out now. And you're just kind of dragging it out. That feels like LSU is really grasping at straws here to be like, oh, we just didn't really mean that. We're just going to drag this out a little bit. Can we Klarna this payment? Can we put it on Afterpay? Like, let's just delay it.
Yeah.
I'm no lawyer, but I don't feel like there's a world where LSU wins this.
I don't either.
Because, I mean, they would have to, what proof? Like, I'm like, what are they going to be like? You yelled at people. Bad.
Yeah, find me a college football coach. Look,
right.
If there is something that they are able to dig up that is cause,
yeah,
I guess that changes things.
Totally.
However, I'm with you. This to me, I'm going to take your analogy and build on it.
Build.
Because this is a yes and podcast.
Bob the Builder.
It feels like when you go to class and you haven't done the reading and the teacher calls on you and you're like, here we go. And you're like, well, I actually think that the symbolism in Faulkner's As I Lay Dying has to do with the sense of what is home in the South at the time. And the teacher's like, no, the teacher's like, it actually has to do with family. And you're like, right. Which is exactly what I was saying, because family, and the teacher is looking at you and you're just like getting redder and redder and you start to sweat and you know it's not going well.
It's not going great. That's what LSU is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
You
know what I'm excited for?
What?
The discovery phase of this lawsuit. Because there's definitely going to be a discovery phase unless it gets thrown out by a judge or
in
they
the parish.
Settle. Yeah, in the parish. What is it? The 18th parish? The 16th parish? Something like that?
The 19th judicial district for the parish of East
The 19th
Baton
parish.
Rouge.
The 19th parish. Yeah, I'm honestly excited for whatever the material is that's going to come out. Because I also do feel like there's a world where LSU will find something.
Yes.
They definitely have like an Olivia Pope-esque employee. You remember Olivia Pope on Scandal had like employees who just like dug up stuff?
Yeah, their job was to find dirt on people.
Yeah, I'm sure LSU has one of those guys or gals who will find like one random specific thing, and then like Brian's gonna be like, really?
Here's the thing. Brian Kelly also, weird guy.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
Sure, I wouldn't be shocked if there was something. It's not even like, we're not defending Brian Kelly here. We're also not saying there isn't something that you could say was cause. It's just they've already shot themselves in the foot by basically standing up there and saying the football team was bad, so we're letting him go. And now they're like, that's not why.
No.
Here's a question for you.
What?
Someone emails you, you get fired, you're owed $54 million. Mm-hmm. There's a chance that if you coach again, that will then get offset by your coaching salary. If Scott Woodward had said to you, hey, I'm going to give you $30 million regardless of whether you coach again or not, would you have taken it?
Yeah.
I think I would have taken
the money.
I think I would have been like $30 million. No, $30 million is so much money.
It's so much money. I can understand, though, in his position, His version of that, it's like if someone was like, it's like if we were promised 50,000 and they're like, we'll give you 30.
Right.
I can understand on principle, even though it's still a crazy amount of money, being like, you're not giving me what I was promised.
Right.
And so I can understand him being annoyed, but also I'm like, at that point, he's already rich. He's rich currently.
Yes.
He doesn't like the 30 million is just like F around money.
Yeah.
You know, it's like vacation money.
You could buy so many boats with $30 million. Do you know how many boats you could buy? You could buy shitty boats. You could buy nice
that's
boats.
The first thing you go to.
It is.
You love to sail.
Look, the first thing I think of when I think of like absurd amounts of disposable income.
Yeah.
What kind of boat would I get?
I that's not where I would go.
Where do you go?
I think I would go to maybe a second home or a first home. First home.
Okay.
And then a second home. And then, as I always say, I want a Volvo. I would get a Volvo. And then maybe like some new clothes. I don't really know. Don't invest the rest of the money. I don't know.
You have brought me back down to earth. I would also go for a first home. I would also go
Charlotte
for a
goes
first home.
boats.
Yeah.
I would buy a lot of boats.
You know what else? You know what I've decided about my life?
What?
I would like a low overhead life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess a boat is high overhead. However,
but you
that
sail though.
That's one instance where I would deal with the pain in the ass of owning a boat.
Yeah, well, and if you're that rich, you can have someone who can maintain it while you're not using it.
Right.
And you don't have to deal with the admin if you have $30 million.
I will say, I think that if I were absurdly rich, I still would not want to have too many people reporting to me about my personal life. No. I don't want my personal life to become a business.
Yeah.
Where I would then have to.
When you have like a house manager.
Yeah, for your properties.
It's too much.
I would rather have like one nice first home and a boat.
And okay, I'll take a home.
I would also have a second. Look.
I would take a nice apartment. Whatever. I don't even need a brownstone. Just a nice apartment. Nothing crazy.
I don't even need a brownstone.
I'm saying in this hypothetical, if I had $30 million and then my second, just like a little beach house or something.
I'm going to
something nice. Buy a body of water.
This is a yes and podcast.
Yeah.
However,
what?
I'm going to say no, but because if you had 30 million, we would have brownstones.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
We would have brownstones.
Yeah. Budget wise, I guess it would be in the budget.
It would be
30 million.
Well, maybe in this economy. Tough to say.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that update. I am so glad I went into this not knowing anything about that one.
I hope it made sense. I'm sorry to bungle it so thoroughly 3 times before we got there.
You know, I loved it. I thought it was great.
It's relatable. It's hashtag relatable.
Hashtag relatable.
This is a hashtag authentic podcast.
Yes. Life of two showgirls.
Look, Life of two show. I'm sorry. You're telling me you've read an article about a lawsuit and you've understood it the first time. Unless you're a lawyer, you're lying.
Yeah. Hey, if there is a lawyer out there who actually read this lawsuit and can explain it to us, DM us.
Hey, if any lawyers are listening,
send us a DM.
I want to shout out the shareholder who made the cut together. Erica, who made the TikTok of all of the times we've said blank if you're listening or come on the pod.
Erica, it was unbelievable. We posted it on our Instagram. If you haven't seen it, go to @SportsGossip and go see it.
By the time we get to Simon & Schuster, if you're listening.
So good.
I was laughing.
So good.
Okay, another Brian who got fired.
What's up with all the Brians getting fired?
All these Brians are getting well.
What?
Look, I'm prefacing this. If we have Brians who are listening to this show, this is not about you.
No.
However, I will say in sports, Brian is the most fireable name.
I was going to say the same thing.
I saw it in your eyes. You were going to say that.
Yeah, it feels right. Can't explain it. It just feels like a fact.
I think if your name is Brian and you have a high up job in professional sports, the likelihood of you getting fired is higher than almost any other name.
Yeah, I do think that's
Can you think of another name that's also a high firing probability?
No, just Brian.
The second most fireable name in sports, Mike.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. There are a lot of Brians and a lot of Mikes who get fired.
Well, another Brian was fired. This time, the NFL. Who was fired, Charlotte?
Brian Daboll. Head coach of the Giants.
Yeah.
This guy had some tough stats, Madeline.
Oof. Oof.
He had some tough stats. So he was fired on Monday after the fourth loss this season, in which the Giants managed to blow a double-digit lead and have a meltdown in the fourth quarter.
Oh.
The fourth game. And I saw Rich Eisen on the Rich Eisen show talk about the probability. I think in every one of those 4 games, the probability that the Giants would win before the fourth quarter was like over 92%.
Yeah.
And then they blew it in every instance. And the probability of that happening was 1 in 60,000.
That is really bad.
That's tough.
That's bad.
Also, in Sunday's game, Jackson Dart, the quarterback for the Giants, he got hurt. He's in concussion protocol. He's getting checked for concussion also for the 4th time since preseason.
That's not great.
Brian Daboll, can I tell you a little history about this man? So he got hired by the Giants in 2022, and he had an amazing first season. He started 7-2. They won their first playoff game since the Super Bowl, since Super Bowl 46, and Daboll was Coach of the Year. Mm-hmm. So that seems like a pretty
good resume,
right?
Yeah.
So things are going well at your new job.
Yeah. Okay. Oh no.
Since then, he has an 11-33 record. This is the 3rd straight season of going 2-8 after 10 games. Daniel Jones, the quarterback he was working with for the first couple years he was with the Giants, is now having an unbelievable season with the Indianapolis Colts. Doesn't make Brian, our buddy, look very good. And it's interesting because I think Daboll, from what I've read, he gets close to the sort of higher up guys on the team. So like, I think Jackson Dart is actually fairly close with him.
Yeah.
And I think that John Mara, the owner of the Giants, also father of
Kate Mara and Rooney Mara,
actresses,
nepo babies, but would that count as a nepo baby?
All right, let's pause the Brian Daboll conversation for a moment and dive into this.
They're actors. Dad, not actor, but rich. Wealth exposes you to other rich people, likely went to school with other rich people whose parents probably did work in the arts.
Is this like the trend where on TikTok you explain things like you're a caveman?
Oh,
have you seen that?
No.
I've seen a TikTok trend you haven't seen?
I have not seen that, no.
Oh,
we'll look that up later.
Anyway.
I feel like, I guess you are a nepo baby because you're just exposed to such high levels of wealth and you're going to the best schools and around other very rich people who presumably are also children of other famous or rich people. Mm-hmm. So you're just inherently exposed to that world. Not saying they're not good actors in their own right, but like they are nepo babies.
Yes. Also, I would argue the NFL is an entertainment product.
Exactly.
So
New York. And
New York. Yeah.
They're not like the children of the Chiefs owner. That feels like a little more removed. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Not saying that those daughters, the Hunt family?
Yes.
Not saying that they couldn't go be actors, but I do think that there's an easier pipeline if you're like a kid from New York.
Yeah, the pipeline in Kansas City seems to be like Christian influencer.
Yeah.
And then the pipeline in New York is you go and you try to win a couple Oscars.
Yeah.
That feels right.
Yeah, that feels right. Yeah.
Can I tell a story about Rooney Mara real quick?
I love it. Go for it.
You were there for this.
What?
I'm not saying where this happened.
Okay. All right.
But she's with Joaquin Phoenix now.
Yes. Yes.
Madeline and I and a few other people were standing outside of a restaurant.
Yeah.
And in New York City.
Yeah.
Rooney Mara and Joaquin Phoenix walk by. They're each pushing a stroller.
Yeah.
There's a guy standing across the street from us with a corgi. And if you're not familiar with corgis, they're the dogs that Queen Elizabeth had. They're low to the ground, long, very cute, fuzzy, kind of derpy.
Yeah.
Not a threatening dog at all.
No, not at all.
Joaquin Phoenix pushes a stroller, stops maybe like 5 feet away from the corgi.
Yeah.
Looks at the guy holding the corgi. Meanwhile, the corgi's like sort of sitting on its hip, tongue out, like looking real low. And Joaquin Phoenix says to the guy holding the corgi, "She cool, man?" The guy's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah.
Yeah.
About as cool as they come," I would say. He was just like, "Yeah." And then Joaquin Phoenix is like, "Okay." And he walks by the corgi.
Yeah. It was a funny one.
I was like, look, I understand having certain fear, but if you're so scared of dogs that like you're asking if a corgi is cool.
Yeah.
I want to know. I hope all is well. I hope.
Yeah.
Because that corgi.
It was a cute looking corgi.
It was a derpy looking corgi.
Well, and that same week, just to continue this, I then saw them again together. And then I saw Rooney a third time in the same week. I'm like, what is going on? So weird.
They must be in the city for a movie.
They must have been. Anyways.
She cool, man?
She cool, man.
Really good.
Corgi gate. Okay, back to Brian.
Okay, so Brian was the 4th Giants coach in 8 years.
Can I say something? You said that his record was 11-30 something.
Yeah.
I'm shocked it took this long for them to fire him. Why didn't they fire him sooner? Because I feel like coaches are fired for much less.
1,000%.
A bad season. You know what I mean?
I think you could argue that the front office of the Giants, the front office is these are the people who let Saquon Barkley go to the Eagles. Malik Neighbors and Cam Scattaboo, who are both offensive players on the Giants, they got hurt this year. I think John Mara liked Brian Daboll. I don't think he wanted to fire him because I think they had a good relationship. So I feel like he hung on maybe longer. Also, Russell Wilson, people forget, is on the Giants. He's a quarterback. He's a backup now. He started the first couple games, and then Daboll went to Jackson Dart, and then they did start winning.
Yeah.
But then these guys are hurt. So you could argue, I guess, there's a world in which all of this isn't fully his fault, but I think you can argue that for any organization.
Yeah.
And he's the one who has to answer for it at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I also feel like coaches who it really wasn't their fault, like if they really just had a bad team, they get fired quicker.
Exactly.
So it's like, what are we doing, New York? Anyways.
Can I read you the names of the coaches who preceded Brian Daboll?
Hit me. Was it Brian's and Mike's?
No, actually. Well, no, actually, weirdly, no, it wasn't, which I guess... Well, it's a small sample size. It doesn't hurt our argument. The first one from 2016 to 2017 was a guy named Ben McAdoo.
Okay.
And I liked his name. He also had one of the funniest haircuts in sports. Oh. Can you Google Ben McAdoo?
Oh.
You just...
I searched him on my computer.
Something about...
I'm looking.
I feel like there was maybe one game where his hair like got brushed forward and it looked funny. I don't know. This is my sports internet brain being completely...
Looks pretty normal to me, but I believe you.
Maybe it was a soul patch that I liked. There was something about Ben McAdoo that really cracked me up. But no, he looks fairly normal, I guess.
All right, anyways.
All right, never mind.
Okay.
Pat Shurmur, which is a fine coach name. It's not really anything. Joe Judge.
Whoa.
Really good football name.
That's a great name.
Can I give you some tea about Joe Judge?
Please.
He was then hired by the Patriots under Bill Belichick.
Oh.
And Joe Judge and Matt Patricia were in charge of the offense of the Patriots, but Belichick never made it clear what either of their jobs were.
Oh, that's good.
Just like complete, no one really knew who was doing what.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's great leadership.
Good. And then we got Brian Daboll. Anyway.
Right. Wow. Well, poor guy, but also not that surprising.
He's made a lot of money.
Yeah,
too.
it's fine. He's fine. But speaking of defense, like who's taken on a job?
Yes.
Dan Quinn, the head coach for the Commanders. Yes, Commanders. Announced in a news conference that he will be taking over defensive play calling from coordinator Joe Whitt. Whitt is going to stay working for the team. A little bit awkward. And he's going to still serve alongside Quinn on the defensive staff, but Quinn will be handling Washington's defensive coordinator duties moving forward. This sounds like a recipe for disaster. It is never good when the head coach or like the team lead takes on someone else's job duties while the other person is still employed, because that's always a bad idea and never going to go well.
Yeah, you're telling me that you're like the CMO at a company. And you're the direct report who's the next highest up.
Yeah.
You say to them, I'm going to take on your Excel spreadsheets. But you're going to stick around.
That's great. That's great.
When has that ever worked?
It's literally never worked.
Okay, something that complicates this.
What?
Joe Whitt has worked for Dan Quinn for years.
Oh, well, that's awkward.
Joe Whitt worked with Dan Quinn in Dallas. I believe Joe was at one point his defensive coordinator in Atlanta when Dan Quinn was the head coach there. So Joe and Dan are like good friends. And here's this. I loved this because it used one of our favorite words, Madeline. Dan Quinn said, Joe and I have got a great vibe together.
We love vibes on this show.
We've worked together through our time in Dallas, and we'll lean back into that space where he'll help me along the way and all that leads up into the game and calling it into that space. So Joe and I have been in that vibe together. We'll lean into that again, and we'll do that now. So I guess he's saying he's called the defense before and Joe's helped him. So this isn't. And he also gave the spiel of like, Joe's been really selfless and he understands that we want just the good of the team to win. I don't think there's a world in which you don't have a little bit of resentment when your job is taken away from you.
That must feel really terrible to have that happen.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm the expert. This is my job. And then the head guy comes in and is like, I'm going to micromanage this now.
Yeah.
Because what have we learned about any workplace? But micromanagement does not work. Let people do their jobs. And to me, this indicates there is a lack of trust between them, whether Joe thinks that or not. Dan, I would imagine, certainly thinks there's some fraying of the trust between the pair.
Yeah. If he's like, hey, man, I don't trust you enough to call the game.
Yeah.
Which is
the main thing you do for that job. Yeah. It's not good. It's not good. This is not going to end well.
No.
And they are not having a great season.
No.
So I don't really understand how this is going to solve the larger problems. And to me feels, you know what, actually?
What?
I wonder. Okay. If I'm reading between the lines here, Dan probably knows he's maybe on thin ice and he's trying to make a leadership move that makes him look good because his team that he is leading and directing is not doing a good job. And so he's like, what weird audible can I call?
Yes.
To kind of bring, I'm going to take charge. I'm taking responsibility for my team because he maybe knows he's on thin ice.
I think that's exact. He's like, we call it the coaching, the hot seat.
Yeah.
He's either on thin ice or the hot seat. Maybe he's on a hot seat on thin ice. Like when you go ice fishing.
Methinks that may be the case.
And I think you're right. He's saying, okay, I need to save my job.
Yes.
So to save my job, I'm going to take over from this guy's job so that if it improves under me, I can prove I'm not the problem. I haven't been the problem, even though you are the problem when things go wrong. Not always. Like, look, there are a lot of factors. Injuries, big time, have affected the Commanders. But what would the correct way to handle this be?
The correct way to handle this would probably be Dan taking more ownership and accountability of the poor performance of his team, but not necessarily taking on Joe's job.
Yeah.
I think it would be being like, how can I troubleshoot from the leadership level, even if that means like, listen, they're not going to the Super Bowl, but like, how can we turn it around a little bit as an organization? Because I'm the leader of this organization, technically. How can we do that? Because I have seen at companies where a boss does try to exert control over someone's work. I'm like, I'm taking this on because they are on thin ice. And it just makes them look worse in the long run. It's like, just take a little bit more accountability for your team and what you should be doing than micromanaging. Also, you know, I think it will make Dan Quinn look worse in the long run doing this, actually.
I agree. I think it's like you sit down with Joe and you come up with the plan. Maybe you spend more time with him on the plan.
Yes.
Or you just fire him and say, we need a different defensive coordinator. Or you fire him and say, I'm taking on this role. Because it's not unheard of. Like some coaches are also play callers. Usually it's for the offense.
Right.
But to make that change halfway through, but then not really make the change. And maybe and I think that this is where things get complicated in a workplace where I understand being friends with someone.
Yeah.
And like there have been coaches in the past where I wrote this profile of Jeff Fisher, who was a coach of the Rams and had like mediocre season after mediocre season. And someone I talked to was like, Jeff's problem was that he was friends with his assistant coaches, so he wouldn't fire them when he needed to. So you can see where I think, though, in the long run, the best way to preserve a friendship in the workplace is to be upfront and say, hey, this just isn't working. Like, it's very difficult and it takes a lot of courage.
Right.
But you sit Joe down and you say, this is not personal.
Yeah.
I love you. I'm sorry if I haven't given you the support you've needed to do your job, but this isn't working for either of us. And I promise this will be better in the long run.
Which he's too afraid to do. So he's not being a good leader. That's what I'm saying. It goes all the way back to Dan.
And it just delays the inevitable.
Exactly. Anyways.
Wow. Management 101. Someone, I would love to teach a course. We should teach a course as how sports gossip. Oh, that would be a great self-help book.
Yes.
How sports gossip can help you in your business.
Straight for our shareholders.
Yeah.
Okay. We have to talk about something real quick.
Non-firing related.
Non-firing related. Just a little sad for me personally.
Yeah.
My Buffalo Bills tragically lost to the Miami Dolphins, who are really bad. And they are led by their head coach, Mike McDaniel, who we talked about last week is wearing capris. And he acted like this win, like he was hot SHIT.
This win, look, I get it. The Bills are good.
Yes.
You beat a good team.
Sure.
However, your team still sucks. And one win does not a turnaround make.
No, definitely not.
Mike McDaniel, after this win, drives by a Bills bar called Elbow Room in Fort Lauderdale. Just drives by it and seems to like lightly heckle Bills fans.
That is the most insane thing to do when you still have a losing record and you're still coaching in capris. What are you doing, Mr. Mike?
It also looked, I couldn't get a really good glimpse at his car. It looked like a Tesla.
Oh, I didn't. I should look back at that.
Whatever it was. The only way that he could have done this is if he drives like an old beat up like 4Runner or something. And, he drives by and he's like, hey, blah, blah, and everyone's like, okay.
Yes.
But to drive by in a nice car.
No, you can't do that.
You can't.
No. He should be in a Corolla or something.
Yes.
And a Corolla is a reliable car.
It is.
But I'm just saying energetically that fits more of his vibe coaching a losing record team.
Yeah, if you're going to heckle while you still have a losing record and your job is still very much on the line.
Right. It's like you won one game.
Yeah, act like you've been there before,
yeah,
Mike.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was like such a choice, and I think it's going to haunt him doing that.
This might be where we look back and say, speaking of firing, it was only a matter of time. And his name is Mike.
Yeah.
So he has a higher probability of getting fired.
The writing was on the wall.
And he needs to be careful when you're carrying that baggage with you from your name.
The fate was already sealed for him.
I'm sorry, your name is Mike and you're heckling in Fort Lauderdale?
In capris.
Come on, man. We need to circle back to the Capri discussion real quick.
Yeah.
One of our shareholders, a fair amount of them have commented on that clip of us where we were talking about the capris and said that Rafael Nadal has won many tennis tournaments wearing capris early in his career.
Yes. You know what? I do remember that.
I do not.
But here's what I'm going to say. I think that was of the time. It was definitely a little bit more of a look.
Nadal.
I don't know. I also feel like European men tend to wear more capris.
Okay, these also...
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, these aren't necessarily... Yeah, you're right. Of the time. The difference is Mike McDaniel's capris have... cuffs.
Yeah.
Mid-calf. Nadal had like cool...
They're like loose.
They look like dance, dance warm-up pants.
You know what they remind me of? Is like pants you would see in a dance movie that was set in 2002.
Yes.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Yes. Save the Last Dance.
Like warm. Yeah. Yes. That's not what Mike McDaniel is giving.
Mike McDaniel is giving finance guy in Midtown going to Equinox.
Yeah.
He's giving dad at the playground on the weekend who thinks he looks cool.
What? Ellen.
You don't have to. If it's bad, you don't have to yes and it. If it's bad,
I'm not going to yes and that one.
If it's bad, we can.
The first one was good.
If it's bad, I was like, move on.
Well, I'm like, what dad? I was like, I don't commonly see dads in capris at the playground.
In the suburbs, you do. With the joggers? Okay, I'm thinking joggers, not capris.
You mean like sweatpants.
But like aloe joggers. Like that.
Yeah, but they go to the ankle. Like the Lululemon pants.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen some capri versions.
Now you need to start texting them to me if you have.
Okay, fine. I will keep a record.
Listen, I believe I trust that you've seen it.
You don't have to.
I believe that you've seen it.
You don't have to check because my brain might be playing some tricks on me. No way of knowing.
Oh my God.
We're going to end on a new segment. I don't know. Did I tell you that we were going to call this a new segment?
No, but I already know what you're going to say.
The new segment is called It Goes All the Way to the Top.
Ding. Yes.
Ding.
And what goes all the way to the top? Charlotte.
This week's
That's my favorite thing to do on the show. So I go, and what? Da, 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 Charlotte.
And I say, thank you so much for asking, Madeline.
Yes.
This week's it goes all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson doing promos for the NBC Winter Olympics.
Yes.
I mean, for the Winter Olympics on NBC.
And she is doing that. We thinks.
That's a new one.
Because Scarlett Johansson is married to SNL's Colin Jost. And as you mentioned, her Jurassic Park movie is on Peacock streaming.
Yeah. Because
Peacock is owned by NBC.
the promo that she did, which also kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit, was with Lindsey Vonn, Olympic skier.
Yeah.
And they were comparing injuries.
Yeah.
And Scarlett Johansson's injuries were all fake injuries from the Jurassic Park movie, where
Right.
she was like, that time I got stuck on a carabiner while the dinosaur's chasing me and cracked my back on the end of a boat. And then
Right.
it shows the scene where that happens.
Right.
And then Lindsey Vonn would be like, that time I got airborne and broke my arm and my hip and got concussed in the same thing at Torino. And you're like, these are not the same.
They're not the same, no.
And they did it for like 10 different injuries.
it was a lot. They were tagging the joke a little bit too much, I think, in that promo.
And Lindsay, they're like hard injuries
Yeah.
to watch. It's like
I know.
brute. It's like
I know.
she's like in a car crash going like 60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Falling while she's skiing. And then
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson is like in a cave and a dinosaur like swats her head. And you're like, that's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing. And you know something else we didn't mention about the NBC connection with Scarlett Johansson?
What?
Is that recently she was co-hosting the Jenna Bush hour of the Today Show as like a fill-in host because Hoda Kotb, retired or
Right.
left the show. And so that's also a connection to NBC there. So it's all connected, all
Okay.
in the NBC family. So my guess is I bet you Scarlett Johansson's going to like host SNL again soon. She's
Yeah.
hosted it a lot, but I would imagine she's going to host it again.
Yeah. I also am going to do a hard pivot here and say, NBC, if you're listening, we should be guest hosts on the Today Show.
Put us in.
Because everything we just said, criticizing the Olympic promo, doesn't mean anything.
And we love the Olympics. I love NBC's coverage of the Olympics.
Me too, and I'd like to be part of it.
Yeah, hey, put us in, coach. We'll
Look,
promise you a
sometimes-
good time.
Sometimes you have to nag people a little bit
Yeah.
before they fall in love with you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all we're doing with
Exactly.
NBC. It's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time.
God, the Today Show.
Oh, could you imagine?
If anyone from the Today Show
Is listening.
Also, look, I'm just going to say it. This might hurt our chances with NBC. Good Morning America. Also,
Yeah, hey.
ABC.
Yes, if you're listening.
If you're all we want is to be on a morning show or a late night show. That's it. Just put us in.
Put us in, coach.
Like it doesn't have to. We're just like once even.
yeah, just
I
once.
mean, hopefully more than once.
Yeah, but at least once would be
We'll
nice.
start there.
We'll start there. Well, that's our show. Thank you so much for listening or for watching and listening. And as always, please rate and review and like and subscribe. It makes a really huge difference. And you can follow us on Instagram at Sports Gossip and TikTok at Sports Gossip Show. And you can subscribe to our Substack at sportsgossipshow.substack.com.
And you can join our chat.
Yes.
There will be another one. Look, this Thursday night. I'm pretty sure
Interesting.
Thursday Night Football is Patriots Jets.
Okay.
No, it's going to be a good game.
You think?
It's going to be a good game.
Okay. Well, I feel like the Patriots are just going to destroy them.
Well, the Jets are maybe turning it around. I don't know. As long as the Patriots win, it's a good game.
That's true. Your Pats.
Oh, God, what if they don't?
Okay. Let's cross that bridge.
All right.
Cross that bridge.
Okay.
Don't get ahead of ourselves.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. See you
Okay.
next time. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.